Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 6:30 on Sunday the 22nd of August. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's another grey, overcast day, but it's not raining, thankfully. Grass is looking very nice. Really pleased I managed to get this down yesterday, because you never know. Weather forecasters I left this morning was saying that we're going to have some huge rain later today. So I guess we need to get cracking because I have got stuff to do. Got a load of stuff in the car as well to bring down, but I'll get opened up and stick the kettle on, and then I'll catch up with you shortly as to what we think we're going to get done today. Well, as usual, first things first, sort the chickens out. They're busy pecking away at their corn. This new bag has got some little sunflower seeds in, so they're more enthusiastic than usual today. Let's take a little look in the coop, see what we've got going on in there. You can tell I didn't clean up yesterday. You messy birds. Right, let's take a little look. We've got two in there, and we've got four in there. Very nice. And those are empty. Food and water's okay for now. Top that up a little bit later on. Bargain. Let's get in the cabin and get that coffee on. They are content little chickens. And quiet now compared to when I first turned up. All that squawking, you'd think they'd never been fed. Well, this weather just has no clue what it's going to do this morning. I'm hoping that the rain stays off, at least for the first half of the day, because I've got a few bits that I want to get done. I brought quite a few things down with me today, some of which includes some more solar. I've brought a 100-watt panel and a couple of batteries from my shed at home. The reason I've done that, you might remember, I put the portable solar panel and my little battery box into the polytunnel for the irrigation system. Which means that I don't now have power for the diesel heater, and whilst I've not needed that, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before I do. So there's a gap under there where the battery box used to be, and in addition to wanting the diesel heater ready to go whenever I do need it, I'm conscious that if I try to use that for heating over winter on a timer, not saying I will, but you never know, I need to make sure that the batteries remain fully charged. So this will enable me to do that, especially having two rather than one batteries. And I don't have to move the battery box and that portable panel out of the polytunnel. That can stay there. So fingers crossed at some point today I'll be rigging that up. I do seem to spend a lot of time moving stuff across the field. It's roofing sheets for the new IBC water tank cabinet. So hopefully we'll get that done today. Yes, this just doesn't know what to do out here. Wind's picking up. I don't know. Well, good morning. Sunday already. Where does the weekend go to? Never enough time. Hopefully you're enjoying your weekend, staying safe and well. I've just brought a few things down from the car this morning. It's going to be another busy day, I think. Fingers crossed that this rain they're forecasting doesn't come. It is grey and overcast, and every now and again there's that little bit of a wind and a bit of drizzle, and you think, oh, here it comes, and then it disappears. It's been doing that all week, to be fair. So you just really have no clue. And I guess the moral of the story is, like yesterday, just get cracked on and try and get as much as you can done, because rain can stop play instantly. You can be sat there with all the plans in the world, and all of a sudden, poof, the heavens open and all those plans go out the window. So yeah, there are a few bits and pieces to do today. Hopefully that will make for a little bit of interest for you. It's all about forward planning. Trying to plan ahead, and get your preps, your requirements in place before something hits the fan and you really do need them, because it's too late then. Which kind of brings me on the subject of that short video I did on, what was it, Thursday night? Yeah, Thursday night. Somebody did mention in the comments that that video got more views than usual. And it does, for some reason. As soon as you start talking about emergency food supplies or long-term food storage, if you have that in the title of the video, lots more people than usual click on it and have a little look. Whether they find it interesting or not is debatable. I think some people just like that fear porn, that the world is ending, take a look now, and they take a little look and go, oh, actually it's not ending, so forget that. And I don't mean to suggest that the world is ending, because it isn't. The world will be here long after we're all gone, but what condition will it be in? There is the burning question. And if the COVID crisis taught us nothing else, it taught us how fragile the current supply chain way of life is. It doesn't take much to go from all is peace and well in the world, and I can put my card in the machine and get money out, I can pop into the shop and there's this huge array of food, irrespective of what time of year it is and whether we're actually harvesting that food here or not. It's there. But as we found out last year, it doesn't take much for things not to be there. And also for the price to be affordable. Who remembers, if you cast your mind back to March, April 2020, it's only just over a year ago. If you cast your mind back, we had all that panic buying and the supermarket shelves emptied and everybody was, whoa, what to do? I can't get my toilet rolls or my milk. And gradually it did start to get back to some kind of normality. It was never the same, and it still isn't the same as it was before COVID. But the supply chain kicked in, ramped up a gear, lots of movement of stuff from factories and warehouses all over the world, and gradually it levelled itself out and people stopped panicking and realised that, oh, actually stuff is still there. But at the same time, if you were buying things like latex gloves, face masks, hand sanitizer, antibacterial wipes, bleach, anything that was kind of COVID related. Do you remember how the price went up? Really dramatically. Yes, there were shortages, which made a natural increase in price, but there were lots of people taking advantage as well, and buying in lots and lots of stock and then doubling the price because there was demand there. So fast forward to today and think about food and just look at the prices, not just food actually, everyday essentials. So things like your shower gels, your toothpastes, your body wash, the famous toilet rolls. Just take a look at the prices now and cast your mind back. Dramatic increase in price. I was listening to a farming programme on the way in to the field this morning on the radio, and it's harvest time in the UK, and if you've been watching my videos over the last couple of weeks, you'll have seen and heard all of the huge farm machinery trundling along the road at the side of my field as they go backwards and forwards harvesting the crops, and yields are down. There was a farmer, he's quite local actually, he's probably about, I don't know, 20 miles, 25 miles away from here, and he was harvesting wheat. Well, he is harvesting wheat, and he was saying that his yields are down. There's lots of videos on YouTube of farmers all over the world telling people that harvests are down this year. The American, I can't remember what department it is now, but it's one of the departments of state that looks after crops in the UK, and it publishes figures, statistics for crops as they go through the growing season. So it'll say, this month we're looking at high yield in this county, in this state, and we're looking at medium yields here and low yields here. Lots of low yields of crops as we've gone through the year, and harvest time now, again, yields are down. Lots of weather events around the world decimating harvests in some countries around the world. Those fires that we've been looking at, again, impacting on crops. So food for next year, because bear in mind, we are always a year behind. The stuff you buy in the shop isn't something that was picked this week or this month. Okay, new potatoes perhaps. But generally, we're a year behind, so we're using last year's crops. So 2020 wasn't a great year, and 2021 looks set to be a very poor year again. So if prices are going up now, just imagine what they'll be like this time next year. So hence the reason I put the video out. Bit of a timely reminder saying, look, prices are rising, availability is not great. It is only a matter of time before availability becomes even poorer or prices become unaffordable. So take the chance now, get stocked up now, and continue stocking up, because the worst that can happen, and I've said this a million times, is that next year or the year after, or the year after that, if you've got really good preps, you'll be eating food way cheaper than you can find in the supermarket at that time, if indeed it's there or you can afford it at all. So stay on top of your preps. Anyway, I'm looking outside at this weather. It still isn't raining yet, thankfully, so I really do need to get cracked on. Have yourselves a great weekend, and wherever it is I do get up to, I'll keep you posted as we go through the video today. Well, hopefully you can see all of this. I thought, since I was doing some work on the solar, I'd do a very quick solar 101. So, what you need to get power, bear in mind this is 12 volt power. You can step it up to 220 mains power if you want, but for now, let's just talk about 12 volt because it's It's fairly simple and the basics are right here. So you need something to collect the power from the sun, which is your solar panel. You need something to store that power in, which is your batteries. It just so happens I've got two 110 amp batteries here. And then you need to connect them together. So the power from the solar comes down through some cables, positive, negative. Now to regulate and distribute that power, you need something called a charge controller, which is just this little box. And it's got a variety of little ports on the bottom. So obviously to connect these together you need some cable. There's some heavy duty cable, some lighter duty cable, and because I've got two batteries I need a couple of cables to connect those two batteries together. So power comes from the panel, it goes into the charge controller, and then from the charge controller you've got an option of different feeds. You've got a feed out which takes you to your batteries to continually charge up your batteries, and then you've got what's called a load port, and you can run power direct from the panels out of that load port, so that in addition to charging the batteries you can have any excess power that you're generating go off and do something useful, power something else. Obviously when the sun goes down and there is no more sunlight, the charging stops and you're left with whatever's in your batteries, and you can take feeds off those to power all of the various lights, pumps, whatever it is that you want. So very brief quick run through Solar 101. You need a panel, some heavy duty, light duty cables. If you've got more than one battery you need some cables to connect the batteries to. You need a charge controller, and essentially that's it. Hope that was useful. I'll show you all this once I've got it all connected up. The most difficult bit for me, sorry, I was just looking at that terminal. I thought the cable was a loose, but it's not. The most difficult bit of the day is actually getting this panel mounted somewhere onto the roof, because working at height on clear plastic sheet roofing, recipe for disaster if you're not careful. It is a bit windy outside and I'm hoping it doesn't rain, but that's the most difficult bit for me, and that's probably the thing I'm going to focus my attention on first. The rest of it is indoors and fairly simplistic, straightforward. A little bit difficult to see, but I've popped the panel just there on the actual cabin extension roof, so that's in sun all of the day. And then moving around, I've fed the cable through top of the cabin roof. That's these two cables, these two here, which come round and go into the charge controller, and then power out of the charge controller. You can see that it's showing 13.7 volts in the battery and 13.8, keeps flicking over. So the panel is showing a feed into the battery, and I've got load available if I wanted out of these two little end ports here. So the battery cables, that's these two here, run down, disappear off behind the cladding and the diesel tank, come out in the bottom, and then I've got hardwired in now the cables out of the diesel heater. That's hardwired in. The charge from the solar panel is hardwired in, and the two batteries are linked together so that I've got 220 amp hours storage rather than the single 110 battery. So good job done. Really pleased to see I've got permanent power now recharging from the panels, which will provide power for the diesel heater. There's a USB port under there I can take power off. I've already got a USB and a cigarette lasher adapter coming out of the main cabin solar, where I can run whatever I want off there. If I want to put a water pump on permanently wired in, I can do. Excellent progress. Well, since it's hardwired in, it'd be rude not to test it, so I've just fired up the diesel heater. You can hear it clicking over there, and that's pushing out nice warm air out of the vent inside the cabin, which is what you want. I've not run that for a while, so I think I'll just give it 5-10 minutes, let it wind up to full temperature. You never know when you might need it, so it's best to check everything works, especially since I've been playing with the electrics. But clearly it does, so really pleased with that. We've dropped a little bit of power on the battery, but that's to be expected because there's a glow plug in the diesel heater, and when it first fires up it draws a lot of power, which I guess is why I want it to be renewable. Well, I've broken down and cut up another pallet. I tried that scissor jack method again, and to be fair, it's not too bad. You do end up getting the hammer out, but at least the boards come off in one piece without splitting. And essentially I've just been cutting rafters to go onto this storage cabinet. So now I've got those cut up, you know what's needed now, don't you? Yep, the paint's got to come out. Well, there we go. That's the rafters in for the roof on the water tank. Took more than I thought it would. I cut a load, laid them out just to measure up for the sheeting, and then found I had to do some more. It's surprising how much you need. Those metal roof those metal roof sheets are very, very thin, so they do need that extra bit of support, which they've now got in spades. I've almost covered the whole bloody roof in timber, but it's free timber off the pallets, so I'm not worried. It's not as easy as you think. I've had to punch the holes first to get the screws to go through. Looks easy, but it isn't. Aha, this proves the point. Excellent. Oh, there we go. That's the roof on. It's got front, centre and rear screwed, so it's not going anywhere. All that remains is to fill in the sides, these little eaves on each side, and then I need to decide, once I've filled those in, do I want a gutter on it, or is that over the top? You'll have to let me know in the comments section. But really pleased with that. That's the water storage cabinet completed. Well, I say completed. 2 bits of wood, a bit of paint. Oh, there we go. That's the eaves filled in on both sides. A bit fiddly round this side, trying to cut round that rain gutter downpipe. But it's done. It's all closed in. Don't really know what's happening with this weather. It's really thick cloud, but the sun does try. Let me see if I can actually capture it. The sun does try to get through every now and again. It really is weird weather, because over the far side of the field by the entrance there, it's actually getting a bit of sunshine. Weird, very weird. Anyway, that's that job done. Get everything put away and see what else we can achieve today. Just thought I'd quickly show you this. All this talk about drizzly rain and those bloody geese. What are they doing? Yeah, all this talk about drizzly rain, it's clearly not enough. I'm down to 250 litres in each of these tanks. So it kind of just reinforces the need to have that additional storage. I have got those 2 other tanks now, and if we do have a repetition of this next year, they're going to be really crucial, because I do use a lot of water in the polytunnel, and this year I've used an awful lot outside on the raised beds as well. So water storage, can't get enough of it. Give the chickens a bit of greenery. I'm going to just chop this cabbage up for them. Well, there we go. Chickens have got the greenery. So they're happy now. And Cockerel's keeping a wary eye on me. He does cluck away. And come on girls, this is the best bit. But it isn't, there's loads, look. He does lead them a merry dance. Ah, crazy chickens. Well, the grey clouds are moving in rapidly and it's spitting with rain again, but I really wanted to grab one of these containers of potatoes and just see what's in there. So let's take a little look. Hopefully they'll be a little bit bigger than the last ones. Let's get all the foliage out. Right, knowing when to do this, because we are so far behind in terms of where the crops are. There's a new one growing there. Let's just harvest these as well. I'll show you those later. There's potato berries. There's quite a few plants have got those on. These snails. Right, let's take a little look, see what we've got. God, this is compact, this bucket. Doesn't want to come out. There we go. Look at this. Much bigger. A few baby ones still, but much bigger than... Do you know, I've been watering this to death and it's still really dry. That's one of the original potato tubers. Look at this, they just keep coming. So does the rain. Oh God, I need to get this done quickly. Look at this. How pleased am I with this one? And they're still coming. I'll tell you what, this is the best bucket of the year so far. Absolutely amazing result from this one. Where all this foliage is coming from. They just keep coming. Unbelievable. Can you hear the people on the path? Eh? I thought I was the one that was noisy. Right. I think... Oh no, we're still not done. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. There's the odd little tiny stray, and if I don't catch it, there's another one of the old seed potatoes or tubers. Right. As soon as I think I'm done, I find some more. Do I sound happy? It's because I am. Well, this is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That's got to be it, surely to God. There's not enough space in the bucket for any more, surely. Oh. Oh dear. Well, if this is a sign of things to come with the other buckets, I'll be a very happy man. Because that is a phenomenal amount. And it's still there. Incredible. Right, let's get this tidied away and I'll show you what we've got. Well, I don't know if you can hear that on the roof, but it has started coming down with some fairly heavy rain now. So it was worth cracking on this morning, getting everything done, because we're about buggered now outside. It is really coming down. But look at these. How nice is that? That is a really good crop. Really good. For me, that's knocking on for 2 weeks worth of potatoes there, and much bigger than the previous 2 buckets that I pulled out. Still the odd few small ones, but some decent size. So if I leave those others for another week or 2 before I harvest, fingers crossed we'll have some really big potatoes. I mean, that, you know, they're not small, these. And again, really good condition. The skins, I don't know if you can see that or not, but the skins are really good. No blemishes, no rot, nothing. And of course, tiny little baby things in there, some of them, which are even too small for me for cooking. But I might be tempted to hang on to those as potential for planting as tubers. We'll see, I guess, because they are really tiny, some of them. But what about this? My first potato berries of the year. I'll just leave these in this little egg carton in the cabin, let them ripen off. I'll collect the others because there are more out there on the other plants, so I'll collect those as I do the harvest, and then at some point we'll do a video extracting the seeds. I have got one from 2019, I think. 2019? The first time I extracted seeds. But I'll do another one anyway, just to save you trawling through the hundreds of videos I've got. But it proves the point. I have grown potatoes now from seed, and I've got 1 more bucket of true potato seed left to harvest. So maybe next weekend we'll have a look at that and see. But that, really pleased with that. Really pleased with that. I'll let these just rest, dry off, set their skins. I can't get over that, how nice they're looking, and they really are. Well, I'm just getting myself in out of this drizzly rain. It is getting a bit heavier, so I think we're about done for outside today, but I just couldn't resist taking the opportunity just to bang a few more carrots in. We'll keep on top of the succession planting. Hopefully this will give me carrots to go with my potatoes. I think we're about done. These seeds are so small, it's really hard to know when to stop. But hopefully that'll give me succession planting all the way through the winter. I guess we'll find out. So I'll just top that off with a bit of compost, have a bit of a shuffle around in the polytunnel and get those moved out there. Well, that's the 2 new buckets of carrots planted. I did water before I put the seeds on. I've just topped up with a bit of compost, so I'm just giving it a bit of a light dusting. So they're alongside now for a bit more succession planting. So there we go, I've moved, just shuffled everything along to this end. There was a bit of a gap there. So I've moved them all along, made a little bit of space. So there's my 2 new buckets. I just need to get rid of those out the way so they're not blocking the sunlight, if we get any. That's the ones I planted a couple of weeks ago. They're all coming through nicely now. So 2 more to add. And fingers crossed, this should see me through the rest of this year. And I might be tempted to have a little experiment over winter, just keep a few back and see how they progress. So that's that done. I'm going to have to pick a few tomatoes before I leave today, because there's a few of those that are ready. I don't know what's happening with this rain, it just keeps coming and going. It's forecast for a downpour today, but it's just this light stuff that comes and goes, I guess the good thing is that I did get that grass down before it came. Anyway, let me get myself sorted out, get everything locked up and closed up, because it's that time again already. The day just flies by, and the weekend indeed just flies by. Well, that's it for another day and another weekend. Well, chickens are busy scratching around. I put a bit of grass and clover in there, which is wet off this little bit of rain we've had. But really good progress this weekend. Really nice to see that water storage tank all finished off. Very happy with that. Equally very happy that I've managed to get the grass down this weekend. And as an additional bonus, really good, that I've now got another separate solar system running for that diesel heater and whatever else I might want to power up in the garden room. Loads of grey clouds. So I suspect we are going to get more rain later on, but that's good. I want it. I want to fill those water tanks right up, because it's been worrying how much they've been dropping over the last few weeks. Not managed to do anything with the bees this weekend, which is disappointing. I don't quite know what's going on with them. They're all sitting outside the entrance. Don't quite know what that's about. If Simon's watching, tell me what that's about. It's like a queue forming to deposit, because they're all coming back out again. I don't know. If you're watching, Simon, let me know what that is. Anyway, that's it. Get myself off, shower, something to eat, and busy myself uploading these videos that I've took today.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, I welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. How's the water tanks looking now? Really pleased to get that job done, and hopefully the bit of rain that we're having will help to fill those tanks up. And what about that solar? It's all really about trying to plan ahead. I know that I'm going to need water next year. I know I'm going to need solar for the diesel heater over the winter months. So it's just really a case of trying to get ahead of the game a little bit. What are you up to this weekend? Have you done anything in your garden, or are you busy with any projects? Let me know in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.